Let's return to This Week in America. Here's your host, Rick Bratton.
Welcome back, everybody, coast to coast, This Week in America. The book Jesus Was and Is Always With Me Throughout My Life by Eugene McCann shows how we can take whatever happens to us in life, good or bad. We can make our life work for us. If we look hard enough, we can find value in everything. If we come from who we are and take responsibility, we can move mountains. Eugene says Jesus will always be there with us. Eugene McCann, professor in the Department of Geography, Simon Fraser University. His research focuses on the ways in which policies, especially urban policies, are circulated among communities of practitioners across the globe and how these policy mobilities are related to urban politics. He's also the author of The Journey of My Life, Part 1 and Part 2. Our guest on This Week in America, Eugene McCann, author of Jesus Was and Is Always With Me Throughout My Life. Eugene, welcome to the program. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you.
This is a book that's going to help a lot of people, and we'll give you information where the book is available throughout the program. Let's start a little bit about the background in writing the book. I mentioned the other books that you had written. How long did it take you to write this book, Jesus Was and Is Always With Me?
It started probably about a year and a half.
Okay. And what was that process like for you? How difficult was this doing this story?
This is my first book. And when you, as you're an author, it's been my experience, it's like, is it going to be published? Is what? Is this? Is that? You start to make yourself wrong because you're taking on a new venture.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And as you move, you find out, well, gee, maybe it's not so bad. And then, of course, the whole thing evolved to the book.
Yes. Let's talk about the inspiration for the book, the theme, and why you decided this was a message that you wanted to share. And the book, by the way, if you're just listening, is Jesus Was and Is Always With Me Throughout My Life. Eugene McCann, our guest. Where did the idea come from to write this story?
Well, the first book is, I have a seizure condition, okay?
Yes.
If you read the first part of the book, it will show that, my family didn't like me. In high school, they stayed away from me. All this, what I call garbage.
Yes.
Which is underneath everything. Then if you notice, the second part of the book is that what you find out is that without responsibility, think about it. What I was not doing before, I was not taking responsibility. Because the bottom line, I was using people to make me wrong.
Exactly, yes. Yes.
And as you move onward like that, does not cut it, plain and simple. So then you see, you take any feeling, you take depression, you take any feeling, bad feeling you have. If you look hard enough, you will find value. You will find growth. You will find that if you choose, we have a choice.
And that's the key, isn't it? Yes, it's choice.
Neglect it. But if you choose, you can go on with life and actually move mountains if you allow yourself.
In the book, we
all have garbage, plenty of it.
Yes.
The trick is to get underneath it. You can experience something, a bad feeling, but just don't stay there. You can say, well, something bad happens. You find out it does not cut it. Life's too short. And then you realize and carry on.
The book is set up in sort of
experience. I'm doing a great job. Do you think years ago I would ever be doing this?
No. From where you evolved in the book as we follow your progress, yes.
Once I saw the responsibility, once I saw the value in my life, I was able to realize it was always there.
How did you reach that point where you decided, okay, I have a choice. I can go with what I'm doing now and be miserable, or I can take responsibility. I can deal with it. Was there a certain point you hit that you did that?
Jay, let me think. There was a certain point. Okay, here's a great point which I can point out, which led to this. You see, I was going to be a monk. Okay.
Interesting.
And I was thrown out because of the seizure decision. Back then, it was taboo when you had epilepsy. And of course, I went through a devastation period. I was totally devastated. But that was the biggest part of when I started the book. When I saw my devastation and saw what I've done with my life, and I'm not going to go into it because it's too lengthy, and it's like put your life together. It was a bad experience, which let me see, I could recompose something.
Well, yes, and in the book you share those experiences. I'll let you collect your thoughts there, where we'll just mention the
all right, I think in the book it shows that I had the other side of the lift.
Yes.
Like, I believe I wrote that down. That experience, that bad experience of being gay. It's in that book someplace.
Yes.
Okay. So it showed that I think that I justified it for being a monk, being with men. I believe it's in the book somewhere.
Yes.
Okay. So that was a very, very bad experience. So not then, but as the years went by, I realized that that's another thing that didn't cut it. At that point, I began to grow. That experience really didn't cut it. So I grew from that. I turned that around. To what you see now.
Yes. When you went back to write the book, Jesus Was and Is Always With Me Throughout My Life, Eugene McCann is our guest and the author. Book's available at Amazon. Go to our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and you can link on directly, get information on the book. When you went back and decided to do the book, to share your story, to help other people, which you've been doing with this book, how difficult was it for you emotionally to go back and recount these episodes in your life?
Emotionally, when you look at your own life, a lot of the things I did, I would not re-experience. So when you talk about yourself, it's a whole different story.
Yes.
And like the story would be, things that you do don't cut it. You realize this after you get underneath the garbage. Things you've done in life can bring value, but you have to see where they don't cut it before you change. By not cutting it, it means it don't work. When you experience something bad, go ahead and experience it. Don't suppress it. Just don't stay there.
Ah, interesting. Yes. Yes.
Because if you stay there, you get stuck. You can take any emotion you want, anxiety, depression. Go ahead and be depressed. But just don't stay in that place. Grow from it. Grow from each experience. And this will teach you. So your experiences are not necessarily bad, but you can grow from them and improve your life.
What do you hope to accomplish with this book? What do you hope people take away?
Accomplish is to reaching people. If I reach one person, it's been a success. It is not about money. Oh, of course, we all want money. Of course, yes. I all want the royalties. But the important part is reaching people, helping people. Because once I realized and took responsibility for who I am, I realized there was a lot of people. What I was really doing is using people so I could get off the hook And that does not cut it.
And there could be people going through the same thing that you did,
Exactly.
not realizing that, and suddenly you're tapping them on the shoulder and saying, hey, I was there with you. This is what I was doing. It's possible you're doing the same thing.
That's
and
right.
in reading the
And
reviews,
you don't know it.
you've touched more than one person with your story. The story, the book is Jesus was and is always with me throughout my life. Eugene McCann, that's McCann. The book's available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, the usual places. If you go to our website, you can link on directly and get information. It is so amazing to see where you are and where you came from. You were talking about people fear my seizure, part of the book where it's a diary back in 2011. And then you also said, I must remember who I am is not my seizure. How difficult was it to come to that realization that I can't let that define who I am?
See, the realization was tough.
Yes.
Okay? It was not easy. But as you grow, you begin to realize that you have a seizure disorder. My word is pity party. You get to play pity party. Pity parties that just doesn't work. Go ahead and play the pity party, but just don't feel pity. When you feel sorry for yourself, that don't work either. Responsibility and staying with it means this. It's okay. That's not wrong. It's okay to be in that place, but grow from it. See the value, and believe me, it was tough. It was rough. But once I saw the value and how I could teach people and how I've been a self-help group leader. I've been in disability leading. And you get to know people. But here's one experience I never had, which was great. When you go to a self-help group meeting, you prepare notes as to what you're going to say.
Yes.
Okay. So I went to this one meeting with the notes, and the group turned it into a meeting. They did it, not me. So I said, I don't need these notes. And they carried the whole thing, which is what you're after. Which was great, because that showed me that people can do it. Because I went prepared to give it or to start it. And they started the whole meeting.
And so often in life, we sort of go into situations just like that. It's a great metaphor. We go in with our notes and we're prepared to do it a certain way. And life takes us in a different way sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah. That was a great experience because I never knew it was going to happen.
Yes, yes.
You see, where it leads you. Now, years ago, could I ever have thought of doing something like this?
In reading in the diary during that really dark period of garbage in your life, you would have thought this Eugene never would have been a leader, a book author, in sharing his story and inspiring, motivating, encouraging other people, would not have done that. It's just a remarkable story. We've got a few minutes left on the program. Boy, it's gone by so quickly today. How are you doing today? How is the epilepsy? How are you doing in life?
Well, today the epilepsy is not the one I go through. You see, my wife died from Alzheimer's on September 3rd.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
So I'm dealing with that, which is now, this one really isn't easy.
Yes.
Because we've been together for about 30 years. And to see her slowly disintegrate gets to you. But here I have great support, because if I start to cry or if I go up, I get people supporting me. They can go give me a big hug. My experience now is it goes back and forth. Sometimes I'll start crying. Sometimes in other words, I'm like here, I'm Gene, who can kid around and talk.
Yes, yes.
But in about 5 minutes, I could be the opposite. I could go cry or get mixed up. My experience right now is there. So the epilepsy is actually secondary because it's under control.
Good, good.
But what's on my mind is Deanna. But there's good parts. She used to call me Honey Bear. But the important thing is she knew me.
Yes.
And so her sense of humor was there. Because how did she meet me? At a bus stop. Okay? What was I doing? Looking for girls. So her sense of humor was there.
Exactly. And
which helped me.
Those are the memories that you need to hang on to. And I think what you just said is what you were talking before about as we go through garbage in our lives with dealing with the epilepsy in kids at school, that type of thing. You're going through periods of melancholy, periods that you want to cry. And you're saying it's okay to do that. Just don't stay in that state. Right.
See, if I start to feel like that, I start to talk about it. I go to a person. They give me a big hug and calm me down. So I'm getting too emotional now.
Well, and that's fully understandable. And I feel so badly going through 30-some years of your life with your wife and having to watch her going through the battle with Alzheimer's. A minute or so left in the program. You've done so well with your books and in touching people. Are you working on anything now?
Well, not right. I'm not quite ready to write a book. I've got some thoughts going through. I may write about this place. I may do a book on Alzheimer's. It's just some crazy ideas. But right now, there's too much on my mind. I'm in no way to write a book. Because your mind, when you're an author, your mind has to be clear, very clear. Because you want total attention on that book.
Yes.
And right now, my mind is much too clouded. You get ideas, but right now, I thought, see, you will know when you want to write because it'll just come to you.
Well, and that happened, obviously, in writing the other books. It happened when you decided to take responsibility and to turn the epilepsy situation around. I look forward to having you back in the program to talk about the new books when the time is right. And it's so recent what you just went through. And again, our deepest sorrows and sympathy with all you've gone through in 30-some years of your life and losing your partner like that. But you are touching people in so many ways. In just listening to you, you can watch the interview on our YouTube channel. The book is available, again, wherever books are sold. We've got an Amazon link on our website.
Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and those are the only two sites I'm missing. I'm going to be at a book.
Got a book signing?
A book signing in Jacob Jabs Center in New York.
Oh, fantastic.
Where I'll have my book signing, and then I will go to conferences, and I'll see the important people.
Yes.
So.
And you'll get to meet people.
Whatever it materializes, the opportunity's there.
Yes, and you'll have the opportunity.
Well, that's another story. They promise you the stars.
Well, yes, but
what you get may be different.
No matter what happens with that part of it, you'll get to meet people face to face, share your story, and inspire them to live their lives better and to take advantage of all the opportunities that are out there. The book is Jesus Was and Is Always With Me Throughout My Life by Eugene McCann. That's McCann, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, the Amazon link at our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Eugene, a pleasure meeting you, having you on the program. We will stay in touch. Would love to do this again. Thank you for sharing your story today.
Okay.
Thank you. Once again, it's Eugene McCann. Jesus Was and Is Always With Me Throughout My Life. Book available at Amazon. Link on to the book by going to our website, thisweekinamerica.us. And we're back on today's program after these messages.
This Week in America is online. You can visit our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Scott Pinkerton, Associate Producer of This Week in America. Jay Anderson, Segment Producer. Ben Watson, Webmaster. Otto Bechet, Director of Engineering and TV Production. This Week in America produced and is a trademark of Blue Funk Broadcasting, LLC. For information on all of our guests and to listen to this week's show, our website again at thisweekinamerica.us. And I'm Sean Bratton, Executive Producer of This Week in America.